Hello, everybody, and greetings from the dank basement. This is your wicked Uncle Squinty, Paul Schellbetter. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the physiological and psychological effects of tobacco use, and particularly the side effects. Now, it is hoped, first of all, before I continue, remember I'm not a doctor. I've never been to medical school. I have some training in chemical dependency from college, from university, but I've never worked in the field. This is just what I know from my research. And I encourage you to do your own research on the internet, in your local library, talk to your doctor, because I might be telling you pure nonsense, and I don't want to mislead you. I'm just a reporter, not a doctor. But let's talk a little bit about what tobacco does in the system from what I've been able to figure out. Now remember, nicotine is a very strange drug. First of all, it hits the same class of what they call neuroreceptors in your brain as does opioids, or as do opioids, such as morphine, like that, codeine, the artificial opiates such as OxyContin, for instance. Those receptors are very much tickled by nicotine. And because of that, nicotine can do something that no other drug can do. It can calm you down when you're all tensed out, and it can give you a little sense of energy and lift when you're feeling the opposite. So it is a very useful drug for a lot of people. Now, we already know the risks associated with smoking, particularly from combustion, carbon dioxide, the 4,000 some chemicals they put into cigarette tobacco that'll kill you. And so a lot of us are trying to do harm reduction by using other forms of tobacco, particularly snus, nasal snuff, and a non-tobacco nicotine alternative, the electronic cigarette. Some of us are also doing the government-approved patches, gums, rectal implants, whatever, which I don't like. But I do like my snuff, and I do like my my snus rather. But there are side effects even with this. For instance, you do too much of any tobacco, you're going to get, diarrhea, stomach upset. You can promote ulcers in your stomach, even from dip, snus, or nasal snuff. That drain is pretty acidic, and it can tickle your stomach in such a way it's not real good for it. So if you feel yourself starting to have abdominal symptoms, or suddenly getting diarrhea or something, might be a good idea to dial back on even your nasal snuff and snus. Now, you can tell that you're addicted to nicotine because there is what is called an abstinence syndrome. That means you experience what they call withdrawal symptoms when you don't have it. Ask any smoker trying to quit, and they'll be able to tell you exactly what their symptoms are. They include sleeplessness, irritability, inability to concentrate, sometimes a headache, sometimes body aches. Nicotine is physiologically as well as psychologically addictive. And that even includes our good old buddy nasal snuff. I've mixed a little nasal snuff here. I've mixed some Bureau with something else here. I'm going to try to get it out. It's clumping. I need my fix, dang it. Here we go. Now, in my case, in this, I ground up a little bit of what they call aspirin powder, headache powder, and mixed it with my snuff because I had a little headache this morning. I'm self-medicating, probably in a way that the Food and Drug Administration would not approve. But at any rate, let's get back to the physiological side effects of nicotine. Now, one of the things nicotine will do is suppress appetite. So if you're having a hard time gaining weight and you want to, gaining good weight, maybe you're on a workout program, you might want to dial back on the nicotine because it's going to reduce your appetite. And let us never forget that even though you're not smoking it, nicotine is a vasoconstrictor, which means it shrinks the diameter of your blood vessels, it stimulates the heart, it makes your heart work harder. So if you're at risk for heart problems, you ought to leave nicotine alone. One final thing I'd like to address in this short video about the effects and side effects of nicotine is this. Please, if you are not currently a nicotine addict, if you currently do not use tobacco, please, as your friend, I'm asking you not to start. Shit's addictive, guys. It's as addictive as heroin. Maybe worse, because it's so readily available. You can buy cigarettes, snuff, snus, dip, pipe tobacco, cigars, cigarillos, pretty much everywhere. And that makes it even harder to break the addiction. So if you haven't acquired the addiction yet, don't. Chew gum. Pick up a video game habit. Pick up a masturbation habit. I don't care. Just don't use nicotine if you're not currently using. But if you are, remember that there are ways that we believe in the snuffing community you can reduce your exposure to harm and risk. And one of them is by using nasal tobacco, nasal snuff. From the dank basement, preaching to the choir as always, this is your Squicket Dunkle Inky, your Picket Bunkle Gookie, your Stuka Bucka Bick, your Wicked Uncle Squiddy. Thanks for watching.